Welcome back to the channel. I'm Crypto Trend Trader, and today we have another edition of the Indicator series, and we're going to be taking a look at the Tjd Jewel Indicator. But before we get started, I'd like to remind you it's not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. These markets are extremely volatile, so please trade at your own risk and don't risk more than you're willing to lose. Alright, so here basically what we're going to do is we're just going to take a bare look at the chart here. But before we get started, what we have is the Tjd Jewel Indicator. It's available for free on TradingView. Just look up, search TJD, or you can look up Jewel, and you'll see it down there. And basically there's a bunch of different components to this, so we're going to just break it down as we go. So first off, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dissect it. And the way I'll do that is I'm just going to pull up the settings. And I'm just going to turn a couple things off, and then we're going to look at them one at a time. As we go. Alright, so here we have broken down to the absolute bare bones, and essentially what you'll see is it's essentially just giving us momentum. And when we see the blue is on top of the purple, we know that we're in a bullish trending trade, and when the purple is on top of the blue, we're in a downward or bearish trade. And that's going to give us essentially just the basics of it, and that's what we're looking for, is those moves right there, so we can catch the moves up and get out on the moves down or short on the moves down. And now you'll see here also we have set are the ranges, which can be adjusted. We have them set at 20, 80, 0, and 100. So now respective to where they're at in the range, what we've done is, and I'm going to start just getting a little more complicated as we go. What we've done is we've added in buy and sells, and you can adjust all these criteria if you want to change this around. Oh, sorry, one too many. Okay, so now what we have down here is, and I'm going to make this big, we've added in the green. Once you get down into that 20 zone down here, anywhere underneath there, and then when we get across, you're going to get, once we're underneath that point, you're going to get the green highlight, and once we get the cross, you'll get the B signal. So I call this the accumulation zone, and then that's your hard buy or your buy signal. Okay, and same with the top here. When we're all the way at the top, once we cross over the 80 point right here, you're going to see the blue on top of the pink. When they start curling over all through here, this is going to be distribution zone. And then when you get the S, that's the actual cross between them. That's the hard sell signal. So that's the absolute basics of it, and the way to use it just for the start signals. And again, it's not financial advice, it's just explaining how I use the indicator, and you feel free to use it as well for free on TradingView. So now next what I have here is you can pump the RSI on here, and that's super basic. All it is just it interlays the RSI in yellow, so you can kind of see where that is relative. So if you see the RSI is not corresponding in the same thing here, you start looking for some kind of divergence, or start wondering, hang on a minute, maybe this trend's going to continue, or maybe this trend is getting exhausted. Again, you can turn that on and off if you don't want it. And then next, and this is a crucial part of it as well, it's the EMA of the RSI. And the reason we use that is we look at the specific slope of that more than where it actually is at. So when you see the slope start to change positive, that means we're in an upward trend. So you want to trade with the upward trend. And then when you see the slope start curling down negative, that's a downward trend starting. So you want to trade with the downward trend. So you don't want to trade small crosses inside of this when the RSI EMA has a negative slope. So as long as the RSI's EMA is going downward, you want to only be taking shorts depending on what time frame you're on. Again, you'd only want to be taking shorts in here. And then when it curls back up and starts going positive, you only want to be taking longs. And again, I say you, but I'm talking about myself. So, alright, so that's a key part of it as well. And you can see how well this works. So you would be taking longs here through this green, you'd be accumulating, and then you'd be taking this, but you wouldn't take the sell signal right here because the RSI's EMA slope is positive. So once you get up here and then you see the cross with the hard sell, you're going to see the slope start turning. That's when you get out of the trade, or your trailing stop's going to take you out. And again, you'd be accumulating through here. It would take you up. You would just be you would eventually actually get probably stopped out on this drop down here, and you would just go right back to it, accumulating again. You get the hard buy, you take up. You don't just sell as soon as it turns red here. What you're waiting for is, see, the slope is still strong and trending upward. When the slope starts curling over, rolling over like that, right here, you would have known you need to get out of this trade. So that was a little fake out spring at the end, and then it dumps. You would have already been out of that trade. So again, what we're looking for is more the slope. And you'll see when you get a powerful move like this, it'll take the slope a little time to react. But eventually what you're looking for is once this blue crosses over the white, and then the purple starts coming behind it, and the purple crosses the white, so then you have blue, purple, white, that means you're in a strong trending up move. And then as soon as you start to lose that order, as soon as the blue crosses back over with the purple here, you start thinking about getting out. You're seeing your hard sell signals coming in. And then once you get all three sprawled back in the bottom order, you know you're in a trending downward move. And then again, right here, you're going to see the same thing. So we have the blue, white, purple. As soon as the purple crosses back over the white here, we're going to be in a strong trending up move. If all of a sudden we sell off and start dumping like something over here, the purple might never cross back over, and we continue to be in a downtrend, and then you lose the slope on that. So, and again, you can trade this however you want. Obviously, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you essentially how I use it and breaking down the independent parts of it so you can get a better idea as to what's going on here. And then finally, the last portion of it is essentially what this is going to do is, and this line here is going to change color between red and green, and all it is, we use it like a signal line, okay? So essentially, when you see this red curling up here, once you've already gotten your sell signal and everything, and you see all of a sudden the red pops its head up over here, you know you need to get out of that, because when that red's on top here at the end and everything's going downwards, that's like a hard exit point. It means basically it's a spring or a fake out. And then the same thing down here. When you're coming down here and you're going strong, and then you see that green, or the same line, but it's either red or green, but it pops out in front of everything else, that's going to tell you, okay, this is the bottom. That was like our last thrust, and then it's going to reverse. And then you'll see it actually turns green and starts coming up here, and you follow it right along. And again, it's going to be the same thing. You'll see the same pattern of this over and over again as you get familiar with it. When it starts poking its head out the bottom, it means it's usually at least a relief rally coming from it. Pokes its head out the bottom, relief rally coming from it. You see it doesn't show up right here, so that tells you most likely that's not going to give you any kind of crazy fake signal or anything, so you follow the trend. And then all of a sudden it pops out right here, and you say, okay, that was a powerful move down. It barely got any follow through. That's a reversal. And you'll see it starts trending upwards. So, and you can kind of use it however you want. You can mess with the settings on it. I have it tuned specifically for Bitcoin and specifically for how I use it. But I mean, you can just pop to any point on here and not even be paying any attention, and you'll see you would have been getting, let's say in this situation, you would have got a buy signal down here. You would have bought. You could either took a hard sell here or just followed it until you got taken out. You would have got stopped out of a profit here. You would have actually, if you were waiting for a hard buy signal, you never would have got back into that one. But again, you can adjust it for the time frames you want, but it's usually pretty good at catching the bottoms here and then putting you into a nice trending trade. And you would have never got out of these trades a lot of times if you're just following it or you're taking profit on part of it and just running a trailing stop. So again, it picks the bottom right here. You would have gotten a nice trade. Here it gives you a small one. You probably have either took profit or got taken out. You would have rebought here, got taken out, rebought here. But eventually, it pays off. If you take a small loss on one, the big moves are where it pays off. So if you're accumulating through here and then it still drops down a little bit, you should be accumulating at the next one too. You don't just say, oh, that didn't work, I give up now. You just keep trading with your strategy consistently, and that's how you win over time. And this indicator, the Tjd Jewel, is definitely an amazing indicator. It's very basic and it's easy to follow along with. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments. I do appreciate you coming by and checking it out today. This is the Tjd Jewel, available for free on TradingView, part of the Crypto Trend Trader Indicator series. And of course, I am the Crypto Trend Trader, signing off.